So here I am, setting up a variable font for export. And the first thing you see is that I have all my export instances set up, but they're not quite yet done. So right now, I'm adding a extra light version. So what you do, you can see that I'm just messing around with the settings and making sure that weight class is correct for all of them. And right now it is set up just out of the box, right? So Matria Sans is a typeface that I'm working on for quite a bit, and it has compressed, condensed, regular, and expanded widths, and also from thin to black. And I'm adding a extra light instance in between thin and light so that I can go from weight class 100 all the way to weight class 900, right? You'll see that the axis coordinates are right now set up in stem values. So for example, thin would be somewhere around 20 units of weight. That's probably the stem size. And then width, in that case, is 0. But in the end, I want my axis setup to be readable. So CSS would understand extra light as, for example, 200, thin as 100, and whatnot, right? So what I'm going through right now is making sure that the style name is always unfettered. So style name is the most basic way to think about a typeface. So if it's regular, then all you have to have there is regular. Light would be light. You don't do compressed light in style names. You keep it as plain as possible, right? And this is important because of style linking. So right now, I'm adding a typographic family name in order to differentiate each subgroup. So compressed would have typographic family name of Matria compressed. Condensed would have the typographic family name of Matria condensed. The regular width doesn't have a typographic family name. That's just a basic name. So it takes the name from the font tab and uses that. So I don't need to set that one up. And as you see, I'm removing the condensed from the style name. So everything reverts to a very basic style name. And that's a good thing, right? So, okay, so I'll be doing that for quite some time. You can see that the bold is there, and I'm removing whatever is there. So it's bold of blank, just because when you have the typographic style name of regular set up as plain regular, you don't need to say anything. You just make it bold and it'll understand. Glyphs understands that the bold is related to the regular weight in the style name. So there it is. So right now I have style name very plain, typographic family name that subgroups each width subgroup of the family. The weight class is set up, so thin 100 and whatnot. And now I am going to start adding something called an axis location. Axis location will help us now make the axis equalizer friendly, user friendly. I am going to set up the compress width to 25. Remember that I told you in class that 25, it's like a percentage of 100 would be the regular width. And then anything below that would be more condensed, and anything above that value would be compressed, right? So all of them, I'm going to add the exact weight class that I want for my bold. For example, this one is I changed from bold to black because it's the most extreme pole of this typeface, right? So it shouldn't be named black or bold as master, but black. And I'm doing the same to the regular one. Now this would be 100 and the weight would be 100 and the width would be on 50. No. This would be 100. Yes. There you go. Regular would be 400 and the width 100. Black 900 and 100. Yep. And there it is. So now I'm just checking to make sure that it works. And now expanded would be weight 100 and width 150. I decided to go with 150, right? Because I think it's a big expansion there. So 400, 150, black extended, 900, 150. And those are important in the access location for the masters. And now I'm going to do the same to the instances. Now I am going grain by grain and adding the right one. You can just copy paste to a subgroup and then change, for example, the weight. So I'm doing the exact same weight class that you see on the top. Light will be 300. So there you go. I'm going to accelerate this part a little bit. Everything needs to be the same. And then Glyphs will understand what's going on. So I'm just copying and pasting to everything. There probably is a script for this. I'm doing this by hand so you can see kind of like the most basic way to do it. This one I changed to extra light because it's not thin, right? So, and I did the same. I forgot to rename the instance, so I'm doing that right now. And the other one was right. So there we go. Okay. All right. I totally recommend you watch this movie in like 2x because it's kind of like boring, right? All right. And there it is. Okay. So I'm going to accelerate this a little bit. You kind of got the drill by now. So next up, after I'm done with this, what I'm going to do is add a variable style name. And this is important for the variable font setup. You'll see that in the menu, everything will be correctly named. And I decided to go width and weight. So compress thin, and then I'll just copy the variable style name to the other ones. I'll just copy that, click, Command V, and then go and copy, paste the light into the proper place. So that one is regular. And there you go. Like everything from that is just repetition, okay? The only one that I do not need, I believe, is the regular width, which everything is already the same, so no need to set up a the variable style name there. If I didn't do that, variable font wouldn't understand that I have multiple styles. It would kind of, everything would fall into regular bold and light. It would be kind of ugly to see the typeface. You wouldn't be able to pick the right width that you wanted and everything around there. Okay, now that we're done with this part, we're gonna start to export the typeface, a quick double check to see if everything is in place. Because I did this manually, it tends to contain some mistakes because I'm not very tidy, but it's time to export. So I use a script for that, Iverax font management batch export. I set up instance and variable preview, so I'll just move into the right folder, do a new date for the output so I can keep myself organized, and then boom, it exports. Takes some time, kind of doesn't give you a proper feedback that it's exporting, but there it is. Let's try to see what's up. Okay, now we are going to open the folder, the output, and you'll see the folder changes into a desktop. And let me just, organize this real quick, merge all windows. Great tip by Heine, font gauntlet. Let's go desktop, var, ttf-vf. Yes, there you go. And now you can see there's the menu. Everything is correctly set up to understand that everything is working on the menu. Let's see if the menu order is correct. Boom. And it is. You'll see the order of weights is correct, the order of width is correct, and everything is set up just fine. For testing instances, I use TransType. It's from FontLab. It's helpful but costs, but I'll show you how it works. I select them all, open with TransType, and you'll see a new window coming up with the boxes. So the subgroups are properly set up, and you'll see that the style linking works too. So Matria compressed there. You see that the regular and bold are in the same box. That means that it's working. If you had italics, you could also style link that, and it should show under the right boxes there. So 3 subfamilies for Matria working well, and that's what we set up. Actually 4, right? 4 subfamilies. So compressed, condensed, regular, and expanded. So that's working, and that makes it okay to go to the next steps. Okay, properly style linked. Thank you, Digital Rodrigo. Now that we have instances working okay and style linked, we need to do variable style linking. This is where things get very nerdy. Back to Finder. I am going to find a file called genstat.py. This one's kind of a harder thing to explain, but I'll show you. And then I can send you the files in order for you to set up your own genstat Python file. It is a little bit nerdy. I hope this is easy to explain somehow, so let's do this. All right, so genstat.py. Thank you, local nerd, whenever you have a chance. Jokes aside, here's what the genstat.py looks like. It is a file that injects a stat table into a exported variable font file. Many people do this in different ways. They'll do it via font make, or, I don't even know the names of the things, but what you need to understand about it is that it is separated between 3 different or more different axes. So this file comes from my Dupincel, which has 3 axes: optical size, weight, and italic. The ordering is a very important thing. So orders start from 0 and then go to the other numbers. If you have ordering 1 only as the beginning, it'll mess it up. And the values, that's where the magic happens. Okay, so the range, and this one is set up as a range of values. For example, if I move the needle on Font Gauntlet, I want the system to understand that when I'm on a 450, I am still at a regular weight of the typeface, right? If I am on a 550 weight axis, I am going into the bolder weight, but I'm still getting a name that's regular, and I'll show you why. Bear with me on this. Quick setup. This one should be kind of like self-explanatory. I'm removing the optical size because it's not necessary. I'm changing the order to 0 because otherwise it won't work. I'm about to remove the italic. Actually, no, I'm changing it to the width, and I'm gonna remove the order is 1, so 0 and 1, and then I'm remove the whole italic axis, which is not necessary for our typeface. I will also, there isn't a matre italic, so that's why I removed that one. Next up, I'm gonna remove the source, the part where it says italic underscore source. That's because that part tries to find which file where to inject the stat table. So I'm just changing this to the right font name that I have on Finder. Just copy paste the new version, and you see that's why. Matre-vf.ttf, okay? That's where it is. And now I'm going to change the values. This is an important one. So nominal value is the proper value for that specific weight. So if the weight class for thin is 100, then the nominal value for that weight will be 100. And the next, all the other ones that are range min value, range max value, are a range of values in which we're going to see the same name be applied until the next point starts. And you'll see what I'm talking about real quick. I'm removing this part because it's kind of not properly set up. The bold will have the linked value equals to 700. Actually, no, not the bold one. It will be in the regular one. So you'll see that I'm linking 700 to the regular weight. And that's what makes it style linked. Okay, and this is what makes it style linked. Yes, I said that already, man. That's the heart of the matter. Yeah. Next one is flags equal to 0x2. This one is what we call an editable name. It will be transparent or disappear whenever we have that one selected. So if I select Matria regular from the menu, it'll show up just as Matria, and that's the meaning of this flags equals 0 x2. Okay? And here is me explaining this in keyboard fashion. I just did it in voice, which is much faster. But there you go. I'm a poor typer myself. Cannot type for the life of me. Okay? Now we're going to set up the proper weights. So the nominal value for thin is 100. I'm just duplicating some of them because I need new values. As we remember from the font info, we have 7 different instances, so I need 7 values there, so in order to be consistent with my glyphs file. I'm changing bold to 700. I made a mistake there. It should be 700, then 800 for extra bold, 900 for black. I need to change the name to the proper names there. I have 3 thins on the 3 first lines, and I need to fix that. You'll see. Next one, range min and range max. I'll show you. So if everything is set properly, nominal value would be the same weight class as in the glyphs file. And now the range min for something that is the bottom is the exact same number. And the range max for black, which is 900, would be also 900. But you see that I'm saying that the range max value for thin is 150, and for light is 250, and for, there you go, for extra light, 250, and then for light, 350. That's because I want this range to happen. So 351, the value will be changed, the name will be changed to regular. 349 though would be light, and that's how it goes. So 850 would be there, range min 750, the same range max as the previous weight, and just the same here. So range min would be 850 for the black. And now the weights are set up properly, I believe. There's a big gap. I went from a weight class of 400 all the way to a weight class of 700. And that's why the min-max in those two weights are kind of different than the rest. Next up, the width. This one will have 4 values: compressed, condensed, regular, which is editable, so we'll need the flag 0x2 there, and then expanded. The nominal values will change quite a bit here because it was italic before, and now we need to match what we have in the glyphs file. So 25 for compressed, 50 for condensed, 100 for regular, and 150 for expanded. These 4 values are the same as in the glyphs file, okay? I'm showing you where it is just so we can make sure we're on the same page in the axis location, right? So you'll see that that's where it comes from. So width 25. Perfect. Okay, next up, we're gonna set the range min and max. Min for, the proper name, so compressed, condensed. I'll remove flags 0x2 from everything other than regular. This will be condensed, and then remove that. This one will be normal, and that one has the flag 0x2 because I don't want anything to say normal. Then range min for the lowest one is the lowest one, for the maximum one is the maximum one, and then everything in between. I'm trying to find the proper math number here, sort of like 42.5, but whatever, I'll just say 40. I'll do 40 here, and then 75, which is the mathematical average, then 75 all the way into 125 or something like that. It should be 125. I made a mistake there. I'll fix it later. but it should be 125. And the min value should also be 125 in the bottom line. But you get the drill. Doesn't matter. You can do anything there. Flag 0x2 is the one that says that that name is not going to show up. Okay, moving on. So now that I tried to inject the stat table, I see that there's a problem with the italic source. I probably forgot something regarding the italic on the file, so let's see where it is. So there it is. To process italic files, there are no italic files in my file system, so okay, let's try again. Back to terminal, just hit up arrow, it'll just copy paste. Perfect. Added the stat table. Now we test. Let's see if it works at all. So in order to test the stat table, SAMHSA is the way to go. I'll just hit there and see first. Open the stat drop down, and it does not work. I changed the things. There's something fishy going on with the width axis, and that's probably an error in the setup in the glyphs file. So let's get back there, see what's up. This should be correct on all the widths. In the instance, it seems to be all right, but let's check the masters to see if it's correct. Ooh, I see something wrong there, and you'll see what's up. But I overlooked this right now, so let's go. 150, 100. This seems to be okay. Now I see. Look at the width. It should have been 300. This one, everything should be the same. Oh, 130. No. This one needs to be 100 too. The same value for all the same masters within a group, right? So that's what it was. Let's try again. Export it. So now it's like a cycle. Just export it again. See what's going on again. And let's see if it works. Just to make sure that the width has the same value. So the width setup and the masters was quite different. So regular there was 200 and the rest was 300. So we need to fix that. We did fix that. And 130 in the regular. So we need to fix that as well. Thank you for clearing that up. Next up, we re-export it and see if it's working. So we need to do the gen.stat.py deal again. Let's do this, export. I told you there was no more bouncing around, but when you see the weight axis, see how that moves? That's weird. So is it gonna work now? I'm probably sure it's not. So let's see, the stat table, not quite there yet. The variable doesn't work. We still have a problem. Let's see what's going on with it. And what it is, no, it's still not working. What's going on? Let's take a look again at the glyphs file. Human error as always. So take a look at the setup. This one should have been 900. Extra bold should have been 800. So that's why it's bouncing around. The rest seems to be okay. Everything else seems to be okay. So please double check, triple check if everything is according to the weight axis. Export again. And now let's try again. I think we're about to see if it works. Remember, Dynamo updates automatically. Seems like it's working. Now, it seems to be working. Let's generate the stat.py once again. All right, so just go to terminal, up, click, yes, updated. Now, SAMHSA does not update itself automatically. Check the stat table. There it is. You can see this part is where the magic happens. See how the name and the compose name is changing? That's what we want to see. So it works. Yay. So that's what it takes to make a variable font work with a proper stat table and style linking. This means that it will work in most files, most software like Figma, InDesign, and everything else. 40 minutes later, yeah, there you go. I hope this totally saves your time and that you make great stuff with it. Thank you so much.